Hello everyone, this is Jose Antonio and welcome to my final exam of Resources and SAT 23-24. We were asked to develop a teaching project in which we had to use at least 3 technologies that we have used during this course. So let's get started. The first thing we want to know is how old are our children that we are dealing with. They are from 11 to 12 years old and they are so used to use new technologies because they have used them over the whole life, and we want to cover these 3 competencies by doing this activity. So let's start. The first step we had to follow was search for some AI and then ask for the task itself, and then decide if we wanted to change the answer they gave us or not and change something about the task they proposed. The topic will be the important women through history and music. So we want to change some things, like for example the ChatGPT gave us like a general view of the activity, but we want to focus more on one part for the music part and other part for the history part. So with this activity, both departments are going to work together. One part will be in history class and other in the music class. First thing first, we want to start with a general view of the role of women through history. So children will be presented some videos to learn more about this thing. You have these videos on the transcription of this video, and then the first step will be divided into groups between 3 and 4 for the whole activity. Then we will give them some time to search for more information apart from the videos in order to get more information about the topic, and we will give children some different epochs. For example, women in the Middle Age or in contemporary years, and children will create a timeline comic using photographs and some type of texts. For example, they can use Canva, and finally they will present it to the class after 2 classes that they will have to work on the project. And here we have an example that I have prepared to show how this would result. In my case, I have done it since the last 50 years, more or less. And then we will move to the second activity, which will be performed in music class. They will have to research some information about some important women musicians. Each group will be assigned one important women of the music history, for example, Barbara Strozzi or Lily Boulanger. And after researching a little bit of information from these women, they will have to handle with creating a stop motion video about her lives. We will choose this example of Lily Boulanger, and by using some apps like for example Stop Motion Studio like we are using, we have to create a stop motion with this information. And a stop motion video consists of a series of photographs that you put it together on a video to create the story. Here you can see how the app works and how I did my own stop motion. And now I'm starting to take some pictures, as you can see now. This app is really easy to use it because it's so intuitive and you almost have nothing to do, just taking the pictures, and the app itself creates the video. Here you can see the example of what we have done. And last but not least, going with this last task, we are going to create also a Kahoot about things we have mentioned on the stop motion in order to know if the other guys are paying attention to their peers' presentations. That is a fun way of capturing their attention and for everyone to learn. By incorporating these digital tools, we can add some values such as, for example, engagement, because digital tools are visually appealing to children in order to capture their attention. Then the accessibility, because we can access to these tools from so many devices. Also that using many digital tools can facilitate many types of learning and many styles. In the case of videos and photos, we can foster creativity and critical thinking by using the Kahoot. Also that digital tools offer immediate feedback. And finally, the 21st century knowledge that we are acquiring using digital tools. We will assess these tasks using this rubric right here. You can see better on the transcription. We can find at the end of the activity with all of the marks that if the punctuation is from 16 to 20, the activity is excellent done. Then if it is from 11 to 15 is good. From 6 to 10 is satisfactory, and if is less than 6 needs improvement. Now I have prepared a table to assess these tools in order to the rubric of e-learning. Here you can see in terms of works well, minor concerns, or important concerns, how would I evaluate them? These are some concerns that I have found. There's no clear indication of compliance with privacy regulations, and users may not have sufficient mechanism to exercise the night. As you can see, this is in the case of comics. There is limited information about data security measures, and encryption practice are not specified on stop motion and Kahoot, and there are no clear mechanisms for users to exercise their rights or provide consents on comic and stop motion. In here it is some type of ways to solve these problems and also the steps to implement this. And now we are going to deal with the ACAD. Here you can see the ACAD design. First of all, we move to pedagogy, that we can find that we are going to use the learning through practice method, because children will learn by doing these activities that are stop motion, Kahoot, and comics. Then we move to resources and spaces. We have tablets because they are going to use their tablets to search information and creating the videos, the comics, and also the Kahoots. Then we have the classroom in which we are going to perform the activity, and the digital screen that we are going to use to present our activities. Then we move to the yellow part, which is the design of the task of knowledge. We have the stop motion videos we are going to create, the Kahoot, the comics, and also the presentation they are going to do. And finally, the design of social interaction that, as we have said before, they are going to do groups between 3 and 4 people. The first one is Kahoot, which is a game-based learning platform that enables educators to create interactive quizzes, surveys, and discussion to engage students in learning activities. It fosters participation, competition, and collaboration among learners. I find it so useful for my future class because this is a way of learning for kids by playing, and by the competitivity added, children wants to learn more in order to win the prize. Also, it can be a good way of evaluating kids and assess their knowledge. Then we move to YouTube, which is a video sharing platform that provides access to a vast repository of educational content, tutorials, lectures, and documentaries. And this is a so useful tool because, as I have said, some videos are so educational, and it could be useful in class, for example, to show some content in a different way, not only reading books, that is more boring. And also some videos are meant to be more appealing to their kids with some techniques such as, for example, using so bright colors to catch their children's attention, especially in the youngest ages. Then we have DeepL, which is an online translation tool that utilizes artificial intelligence to provide accurate and natural sounding translation of text. It supports language learning by enabling learners to translate and understand content in multiple languages. And it is so useful because it had a special tool that translate whole documents. It's a tool that I will use so much because I find it so helpful. Then we move to SciPage, which is a collaborative platform for science education and research where learners can access scientific articles, publications, datasets, and resources. I especially like it because one of the things that it does is to, for example, long documents that you can introduce in the app, and it facilitates a variety of tools such as, for example, to resume it or to extract the key ideas. And last but not least, we have ChatGPT, which is an AI powered chatbot that provides personalized assistance, answers questions, and engages in conversational interaction with learners. It offers instant access to information, guidance, and support through the learning process. ChatGPT may have been my best friend during this course because I have learned so much about it and how to use it. And now I can't imagine a life without ChatGPT helping me, not only in the educational context, but also in my daily life, because its abilities are unlimited. And in the educational context, to create some activities, to search for information, to ask for help on a problem that we can have at the class. I mean, you can almost do everything with it, and I will use for sure on my future. This competitive outlines key areas of competence for educators to effectively integrate digital technologies to the educational process. First of all, we have digital resources. This component focuses on the ability to locate, evaluate, and effectively use digital resources in teaching and learning contexts. An example of this activity would be the programming with Coded Rocky or the evaluating rubric of e-learning. Then we also have empowering learners. This component emphasizes the use of digital technologies to personalize learning experiences, foster learners' autonomy, and accommodate diverse learning preferences and needs. An activity example would be the stop motion because everyone could create their own story. And last but not least, we have assessment that focuses on the use of digital tools and techniques to assess the students' learning outcome effectively. An example of this would be the Kahoots. Now we are going to reflect a little bit about this course. With this course, I have learned a lot of things. For example, some accurate way of using the AI because it's something that is nowadays on everywhere. And by this course, I have learned that there are some accurate ways of using it and not just asking for doing your job, and also that we can see the AI as a friend and not as an enemy, because at the end it will be so helpful, for example in our job as a teacher, to ask for some activities to perform with kids or to some knowledge that we don't know yet, and also to use them as a tool and not as a type of slave that makes you everything you want. Then by performing the different roles, I have learned, for example with the start roles, how to really talk in public without being ashamed. For example, also with the journalists, we have developed our skills to tell a story, to narrate something. Also being the analyst, how to critical think and critically evaluate our kids for the future as a teacher. And also some leader skills, being the curator. Also with the Kadirogi activity, we have learned a little bit of programming. It is true that it's not a so difficult programming tool because it's so easy to work with, because practically without knowing anything you can get to what you want. Also, we have learned so many things about how to catch children attention and how to keep them engaged to the activity. For example, learning by doing games or by practical things. And also this technique, learning by doing, which is a very good method to use with children in order to get them the knowledge, but in a very funny way and not that hard than studying a lot. The most challenging role I have assumed, I think it would be the star, because you have to memorize a lot, and also because I was the first step of my group, so I had like this added value that is, I was so ashamed, I was so scared because it was the first time. And also in our group, our philosophy was that the stars were who worked the most on the project, because they are who have to explain it to the rest of the group, so they have to work more than the others. But it is true that at the end we have enjoyed so much, and the people around us were very kindly, and we feel more confident than we thought. Also, with the utilization of the AI in this exam and also in this course, I have worked with it so much. You can see by this video that we had to ask ChatGPT to tell us how to do the job, and then decide if we wanted to take it or not. As you have shown yet, I picked so many ideas of the ChatGPT, but also I changed a little bit because I didn't want to be so like robotic, and make it more human. So I think this is important at the end, because the AI can give you so many things that are interesting, but also we need the humanity and the critical part of our self. And also with the whole course at the end, because for example, we can search for some information, but at the end we are who decide if this information is useful or not, if this is truth or this is bad. So I think that the perfect thing is the balance between both of them. And that is all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed so much this video. Please give us a thumbs up and see you the next time. Bye bye.